Hello everyone. Today we will see the necessary components for any data communication to take place. So let's assume that there are two devices who want to communicate with one another. Then what are the necessary components for that? So if these two devices have to communicate with one another, so what are the necessary components required for that? We'll talk about these components. Let's first of all understand how does it work. So first of all, I will take two PCs, PC0 and PC1. So I've taken two PCs, and whenever these two devices have to communicate with one another, the first and foremost important thing is that they must be connected to one another with the help of some medium. That medium can be the wired medium, or that medium can be the wireless medium. So now these two PCs are connected with one another, but still they will not be able to communicate with one another. So let's say that there is one message that PC0 wants to send to PC1. So I've taken a message from here, from the toolbar. Now I'll drop from the on PC0. It means this is my sender, and I will drop it on PC1 now. That will act as my receiver. But when you will do it, you will see one error message here that says that PC1 has no functional ports. Functional ports means that there is no way out. The PC is able to receive the message because it does not have any valid IP address associated with it. So for doing it, you have to assign the IP address to these PCs. How do you assign the IP address? What is an IP address? That we will talk about later on. First of all, let's see that how do you assign the IP address? To assign the IP address, you go to the configuration mode of PC0, then you go to the fast Ethernet 0. This fast Ethernet 0 is the port with which the PC is connected. Then you have to assign one IP address to it. So the IP address I have taken is 10.10.10.2, and there must be one associated subnet mask. What is IP address? What is subnet mask? You will get to know about it later on while you are learning networks. So as of now, just remember IPv4 or some IPv6 IP address is required. Now, same way you have to assign the IP address to PC1 also. Again, you have to go to fast Ethernet 0, assign the IP address. Just remember that no two PCs in the same network can have same IP address. That is why the first PC had the IP as 10.10.10.2. The second PC now I've taken as 10.10.10.3. To understand it better, just remember that as you have your friends in your class, no two students in the same class have the same roll number. So the IP address of a PC is like its roll number. In the same network, no two PCs can have the same roll number. So roll number means IP address. Now these two PCs have the IP address associated with them. Now let's see whether we are able to send the message successfully from the sender to the receiver or not. I'm repeating the same process to send data from PC0 to PC1. Once you are done with it, you go to the simulation mode, and let's see whether you are able to send the message or not. Now click on the play. You will see the message going from PC0 to PC1. And again, the message will float back from PC1 to PC0. And here you can see the status of this event is successful. Source was PC0, destination was PC1, and this message was sent successfully from the sender to the receiver. So now let's see what are the components for it which are necessary for this communication. So first of all, you need to have a sender. PC0 was acting as a sender. So the first component is the sender. The second important component is the receiver. So there must be a sender, there must be a receiver. So till the time these sender and receiver, they are not connected, this is the connection that they have. So the third necessary component for the data communication to happen is the medium. There must be a medium. Now the medium may be the wired medium, like in this case, this is a wired medium. It may be a wireless connection also. However, in this we have considered the wired connection. So there must be a wired or wireless medium between these sender and receiver for them to send the message. So these three components are necessary. Now you have sender, you have receiver, you have medium, but till the time you do not have a message, as you have seen that we sent one message here. So it means the fourth necessary component is the message, that a sender must have a message available with it so that it can send to the receiver. So the fourth necessary component is the message. Now, after all these four components, so will you be still able to send the message? You will be able to send the message if there is some protocol. So what is a protocol? So protocol is certain set of rules which are made between this sender and the receiver so that they can send and receive the data without any technical issues. So what is this set of rules or what is this protocol? You can understand it as certain terms and conditions which are set up between a sender and a receiver. So before they can start doing the communication with one another, they agree upon certain rules and regulations. There are certain rules and regulations which has to be followed so that these two devices can communicate with the help of certain messages, right? So five necessary components are sender, receiver, medium, message, and protocol. If any one of these components is missing, then you will not be able to send or receive the data. Or you may be able to send or receive the data, but there may be some technical problem with that. So that is all about the necessary components for the data communication. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.